Christmas, the season of goodwill and good tidings to all, and it's where Leicester City like to donate 3 points to any side that happens to be virtually winless, managerless, or just, oh, go on, what the hell, have some points. After a great start to the season, December has been a bit of a kick, really, whether it's a kick up the backside because the squad have become complacent, or whether it's just a kick because we are Leicester City and we don't like to do things easily, and we don't like to have a really good season. And who knows, that there are people talking about the wheels falling off of the promotion challenge, which I think is a little premature. 2 defeats on the bounce is bad. We only have Burnley and QPR coming up, so we do have a great chance to not let those defeats have a great impact on the season, because if we beat Burnley and QPR, then it's happy days again. And of course that would have the added bonus of Burnley and QPR losing games, so it makes it easier for us to catch them. So it does look as though it could be positive in the next couple of weeks, but it doesn't stop the doom and gloom merchants coming out and saying that that's it's all over. So since my last vlog, I've been a little under the weather. It has been for quite some time now. It's that time of year, and I am susceptible to any kind of virus or disease. I could not go to football games and wrap myself up in blankets and stay at home and be well, but that's not what I choose to do. I choose to go to games and end up sounding like I smoke 40 a day. But Millwall, yeah, I thought that might have been a potential banana skin, and it wasn't. We overcame them quite easily. The most disappointing thing about that game was that I had given quite a lot of credit to Millwall for their behaviour in recent years, only to see when we scored the third that about 20 or so of them tried to charge L1, which is that's not good, it's not big, and it's not clever. For a start, there was only about 20 of you running towards L1 from what we could see. If you take out the people that don't want to fight, your women and children and your old people and all that kind of thing, you'd still be outnumbered. And besides which, there's a lot of police there. So you're only running the risk of a criminal record, even if you had successfully breached the stewards, then got into L1 and then scrapped with a load of people. You just get, is it worth it? Is football really, really worth it? I don't think so. So yeah, I'm really, really disappointed about that. And the worst thing is, we play Millwall again on New Year's Day. And what's going to happen is, we're going to be locked in at the end of the game, because basically your fans, Millwall, can't behave themselves. So we get locked up, we have our civil liberties taken away from us, apparently for our protection, because your fans can't behave themselves. How does that work? If it was left to me, I would keep the Millwall fans inside the den until all the away fans have cleared. And it wouldn't take that long to do. It wouldn't be the hour or so that we have to be locked in because Millwall fans can't let it go. And they have to hang around for hours outside afterwards to make intimidating gestures at people, because they know they can't do anything because there's too many police around. And so they want to get on with their posturing. And what for? This is just pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. And then of course we had the Sheffield Wednesday game, where we played brilliantly for about the first 2 minutes, and then it just went downhill from there. So I'd rather not dwell on that. I thought it was a blip. Unfortunately, the blip continued into the Brighton game, which £32, 50 pence less than Ipswich, for another long stupid journey. Yes, you've got a brand new stadium and you've got lovely padded seats. Brilliant. £32 worth of my money? I don't think so. Stadium's in the middle of nowhere. There is absolutely nothing to do before or after the game. We did find a pub within walking distance. However, it was quite clear that it was supposed to be home fans only. I say supposed because I got in. Alright, I went in your home fans only pub and they knew that I was a Leicester fan. So that didn't really work. But the thing is, technically speaking, I shouldn't have been in there, which would have meant me wandering around, well, me and the husband, trying to find something to do before the game. So basically you're trying to force us into the ground. But what do we get for the £32? A pie and a pint deal. So that's another £7. So that's the cost of the day gone up to £39. £39. That's each. That's me. That's just me. Take into consideration my husband's ticket price, and if he had a pie and a pint, that's the best part of £80 spent on an away game. And that's not even including the travel. Because it's such a long journey, the petrol costs quite high. Train price is ridiculous, so we didn't even look there. And then when you get to the ground in your car, you find, oh, there's nowhere to park, because Brighton now have an exclusion zone where it's permit holders only for around about 3 miles radius of the ground, which was brilliant as we were driving around the usual place where we park and finding rows and rows and rows of empty streets and houses with driveways and off-road parking which the local residents were utilising. So yes, once every other week you get inundated by football fans who park in your road. Wow. I'm sorry, you don't own the road is public highway. And I know it's probably not right that they put the football stadium there. Is that the choice of the away fans who've had to travel down? Use the park and ride, they said. Use the bus services. Well, one of the park and ride sites was closed pretty early because people weren't just using it for the football, but they use it to get into Brighton for Christmas shopping. Or you can imagine what it's like in the summer when people want to go and use the beach or go for a stroll along the promenade. Yeah, the park and rides get busy. We ended up parking somewhere else and told, oh, you can use the bus service. Brilliant, except that we waited for 45 minutes after the game for a bus to turn up. We could have walked back to the car practically in that time, and it did end up that we had to walk back to the car along an unlit A27, which is really quite safe to do, isn't it? Why? Because you don't want to upset the NIMBYs. How about not upsetting people who've had to travel the best part of 200 miles and pay £39 for a day out? I'm sorry, but away ticket prices are absolutely disgusting. And I know that we charge a ridiculous price as well. It's wrong. It is just wrong. Fans are being priced out of the game. How dare these clubs charge these prices? And where is it going? It's going into the pockets of agents and players, and the players give it to the agents. So it is going to the agents. But do players really need to be paid such high amounts? I mean, what are they going to do? They're going to retire at, what, 35? Well, what are they going to do? Spend the next 40, 50 years sitting around doing nothing? I'm sorry, but yeah, as much as I love football, players do not deserve to be paid the amounts that they are, especially when the fans that are coming to watch them are being charged ridiculous amounts of money, and it's pricing people out of the game. Families can't afford to go. As I said, if we'd have taken up the food and drink inside of Brighton's ground, £80 for the two of us, imagine if we had children, how much that would cost. Families just can't do it, they can't justify it, and people wonder why football is on the verge of dying in some places. Some clubs aren't even getting attendances that are worth noting anymore. Have you ever thought why? It's because people can't afford it. Well, coming up is Burnley on Saturday. So it is a good chance to try and put things right. And if we were to win that game, then it doesn't really make the last week or so that much worse. It would be a blip then. The worrying thing is that we do generally tend to have a bad spell just before Christmas. So if we were to lose again, then we are looking a bit shaky. But no panic stations yet. I mean, it is too early. We're not even halfway through the season yet, and I don't understand why some people are panicking. But it is concerning that we've gone from playing well and looking like a team to the last couple of games at times looking a little disjointed. I know that we've had to make some changes, but all this talk, yeah, we're a great squad, we're happy, we're all playing for each other, it doesn't seem to be coming through. The only thing I can think is that we do have a few players that are coming to the end of their contracts and they haven't been offered new ones yet. And I don't know what the club is doing. Are they waiting to see where we're likely to be before making offers? You know, we're going to have the vultures hovering next month around the better players. And when you've got the likes of Wes Morgan and Kasper Schmeichel not having a new deal in front of them, it does get concerning that someone could swoop in and take them away. And it just begs the question, why is the club not offering contracts to players that are an either or? So we're offering you a new deal. This is what you've got in the Championship. If we are promoted, this is what you'll get. And maybe the player will sign on that basis. It's not rocket science. It is a Championship, Premier League. We can work it out. These things can be done, but they're not doing it. Whether or not they're delaying because there are some players that they want to retain, or whether are players that they possibly wouldn't want to retain, or they might want to retain if we're still in the Championship, but if we're in the Premier League, then no, they're surplus to requirements. I don't know, and maybe that's what's unsettling them. And it's pure speculation and conjecture, this is. So don't take it as gospel. I am not in the know. I know nothing. I don't know anything that's going on inside the club. But I'm only speculating. So don't quote me on it, because it could all be rubbish. In fact, I said it, so it probably is rubbish. I'm going to love and leave you anyway, the 10 fans that I have. Thank you for listening to another rant, and hopefully next time I'll be reporting back on happier matters, such as being back at the top of the table, having beaten Burnley, and all our fans are happy, and the club have suddenly decided to refund us part of our season ticket prices because they think that we are paying far too much for football, or they're going to pay for all our away tickets from now on. That'd be really nice, actually. That would be very good. So if you're watching from Leicester City and you would like to pay for my away tickets for the rest of the season, it would be much appreciated. Thank you.